Leader cricket detained near Paris amid a spate of police raids after last week's bloodshed in Brussels has been charged with terrorism offences over an alleged plot to target France. The Paris prosecutor said the arsenal of weapons found at an apartment outside the French capital suggested an attack was imminent. Detailing the grisly haul, including chemicals that could be used for a bomb, he told reporters there was about 1.3 kilograms of industrial explosives, 5 Kalashnikov assault rifles and their magazines, a submachine gun of Croatian origin, 7 handguns, a tear gas canister and a large amount of munitions, as well as a book entitled The Modern Laboratory. This probe is distinct from the investigation into the Brussels attacks or November's carnage in Paris, but security forces across Europe are seeking to unravel a spider's web of terror thought to be linked to ISIL, which claimed both big mass atrocities. Further raids have been carried out in Rotterdam, where another Frenchman was arrested on Sunday.
Cordial relations in front of the cameras, but can the leaders of Spain's Socialist Party and anti-austerity newcomer Podemos finally end the country's political stalemate? They're going to hold talks on forming a coalition, seeing if there's any mileage in an as yet untried combination. Spain's been without a government since December's inconclusive elections.
Con todas las cautelas.
With all due caution, he says, we're now closer to a new government than a new election.
Que de repetir las elecciones.
The Socialists insist that Liberal Party Ciudadanos should be part of the equation when it comes to a left-wing coalition. But that's something Podemos leader Pablo Iglesias doesn't want. I want to ask Ciudadanos for statesmanship in the public interest of Spain and the Spanish people, he says, to collaborate in pushing out Mariano Rajoy and PP policies from the government. A left-wing coalition would still be short of a parliamentary majority and would need other parties to abstain or vote in favour in a confidence vote, something that may not be easy to achieve.
Thousands of Palestinians and Israeli Arabs have held rallies to mark the 40th anniversary of Land Day, when protests against the Israeli confiscation of land in the Galilee region ended in violence and death. 6 Arab Israelis were killed by security forces in 1976. Today's commemorations featured slogans such as "The earth is the homeland." Land Day was the first Palestinian uprising, and it started here in Galilee. It started as a defense of the lands that the Israelis were planning to confiscate, but it became a defense of their existence, a national day, a Palestinian, Arab and international day. There were also protests in Gaza featuring a poster more than 2,000 meters long, described as the longest in the world. That's unconfirmed, but the message to the Israelis was crystal clear. There were similar sentiments in the West Bank, where a rally was held outside a prison. It ended in clashes between stone-throwing Palestinian youths and Israeli security forces who responded with tear gas and stun grenades.
Colombia's government and leftist National Liberation Army rebels say they're to begin formal peace talks, bringing the country a step closer to ending a 5-decade-long conflict between the two sides. Negotiations with the so-called ELN are separate from those well underway with the larger FARC rebel group. The ex-commander of a communist-era labour camp in Romania has been jailed for 20 years for crimes against humanity. The camp, run by 88-year-old Johan Fischer in the late 1950s and early 60s, was known for its particularly brutal treatment of political prisoners. Low milk prices in Lithuania triggered this colourful procession by producers complete with a cow's skeleton. Thousands of demonstrators turned out in the capital Vilnius to demand government intervention to solve problems plaguing the dairy sector.